Tonight, former champs Massive Transit and the Shredheads will face off along with 3 other teams. Everybody wary of what happened in Q1 when there was a massive upset for championship caliber teams. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. Welcome to the Junkyard Joust. All 5 of these teams have seen the finals at some point or other, some of them multiple times. Most of them have new lineups. Only 3 teams can move on. Let's take a closer look. The Alabaster Aces have been to the finals 3 times. Lately, though, they have been in a slump. Can they turn it around? The Bandits have been to the finals, and a couple of those cars are still on the team. Former champs Massive Transit didn't even make it out of the qualifiers last season. They are hoping to turn it around with a few new vehicles here. The Shredheads, brought to you by Emmett and Luke's Engines and Lugnuts. They are also former champs. The Sunrunners have been around since Season 1. They've made the finals 4 times, but never better than 6th. Last episode, Lara Croft showed up to save Cookie.
Happy holidays!
And now she's using her Jeep to make sure those Klingons stay in the horse trailer.
This is pretty handy.
And with that, it's time to joust. The Shredheads will kick it off with Rally Speciale, sponsored by Emmett and Luke's Engines and Lugnuts. The randomized running order is up. Teams get to decide what cars to send down when it's their turn. Here's a new vehicle, Rapid Pulse for Alabaster, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Rapid Pulse is a lighter vehicle, but it's got a low center of gravity. Could be a good performer. Straight out of the minor leagues, it's the 82 Skyline R30, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. This thing had a perfect record in the minor leagues. We'll see how that goes here. Rally Speciale right now is in danger after that hit from the Skyline. Another new vehicle, Ravager for the Sunrunners, sponsored by PriceX Private Parts. Ravager splits things up, but both vehicles that were at the front have survived. A nice recovery by both. No eliminations yet. Hauling Class for Massive Transit, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Hauling Class may have a new look, but it still has the same devastating power as it throws Ravager into the crates. But look at that nice recovery by Ravager, landing and balancing. The Skyline, though, which was never eliminated, is now on its roof. Next up, 24 Hours for the Shredheads, sponsored by Emmett and Luke's Engines and Lugnuts. 24 Hours slices all the way underneath Hauling Class and gets up to the front. Somehow Hauling Class stays on the track. Alabaster sending down the 20 Toyota GR Supra, sponsored by Sicken. The Supra boots Hauling Class up into the safety area. It kind of sticks in there. That looks relatively safe right now. Coming down for the Bandit, 64 Continental, sponsored by Emo Dingo. A walloping hit, but it only succeeds in bouncing the line back, no damage. 96 Chevy, sponsored by Swamp Hobbit. Chevy tries to tighten up that line a little bit, still only 1 elimination in this round. That could all change with the 167-gram Tall Order Hauler, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. A massive hit and 2 eliminations, nearly 3. The 96 Chevy is spinning and jumping all over the place and just can't find a landing spot and ends up sideways. Tough elimination for the Sunrunners, and Alabaster is going to lose the Supra. The Diora 3 with Petey taking a ride, sponsored by Emmett and Luke's. The Diora 3 performed well in the minor leagues. Petey goes spinning and breakdancing all over the place. Diora unable to get underneath Tall Order Hauler. Wide open, 134 grams on this thing, sponsored by AgentWebDev.com. Boom, there it gets under, a little push, or kind of a big push, and Tall Order Hauler does not tip, manages to maintain that balance for now. 72 Mercedes-Benz, sponsored by Bart Allen. The Mercedes takes out Tall Order Hauler. It flips over, cannot maintain that balance, and that'll be a loss for Massive Transit. Backwoods Bomb, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Backwoods hits the line and goes curbside, manages to tighten things up a bit. It's in a vulnerable position right now, though, especially when the next vehicle is 149 grams. Mr. Big, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Mr. Big clobbers Backwoods Bomb, but it backfires as Mr. Big gets caught up and flips over. Meanwhile, Backwoods Bomb makes a nice recovery on top of 24 Hours, and now they're both doing wheelies together. Another loss for Massive. Turbine Sublime, sponsored by Emmett and Luke's Engines and Whatnots. Turbine Sublime bounces all the way off the track, immediately flips over, makes the recovery happen. That's a good car for Shredheads, and they like to see that recovery. Tall Order's kind of blocking everything that's happening, but it looks like we've got about 5 eliminations on the field right now. Maybe this will go longer than the first qualifier did. 78 Ford Escort up next, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. The Escort hits a solid line. That Mercedes not going anywhere. Wide open is starting to tip though, pretty heavily. 63 Chevy Biscayne, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos for the Bandits. This car was also in the minor leagues and had a very good recovery record. Pushes the Escort up a little bit, but no elimination. The Buick Riviera, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. This car a little red-orange, a little departure for the Sunrunners, but it performed remarkably last season when it was on Vermilion Venom. We saw this thing last season, Turbulence Tug, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. A little bit heavier than last season, slams into the line, and there goes the Biscayne over and eliminated. It also looks like Wide Open was probably eliminated on that hit. 2 more down, and here comes Group C Fantasy, sponsored by Judy Collins. Group C pushes Turbulence just a bit farther, actually up on top of the Buick, and slides in. West Coast Flyer is back, this time in a white and red color scheme, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. A nice hit there. Group C handles it though, flipping over and bouncing off that plane wing, making the recovery. Pretty good takedown attempt by West Coast there too. Cookies going down the 65 Ford Thunderbird, sponsored by the Test Joust series. Don't forget to head over to the Junkyard Joust Discord and watch some of the home jousts. A lot of people doing their own jousts on the Discord. No eliminations on that hit. Cookie bounces around a little bit, otherwise fine. Monoracer has been around for a long time for the Sunrunners, sponsored by Emmett and Luke's Engines and Lugnuts. Monteracer slots in, nothing happening there, just a little shuffling. And the final car of the round is Dine and Dash, sponsored by Farty Marty. Dine and Dash slams into the line, a heavy hit, but does it do anything? West Coast manages to escape after battling with the Buick, and it looks like the Thunderbird survived, so no eliminations on that hit. Looks like we will have 7 eliminations in that round, relatively equal across the board, although there was one team who did not lose a car. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Shredheads were the team. They didn't lose a single car. They are looking good. Alabaster falls down 2-3. Same thing for the Bandits and Massive Transit, all at 3. Sunrunners lost only 1. They are at 4. Round 2, here we go. Starting off with the Shredheads again in Rally Speciale. And so far, so good. Revenger slots in, no damage yet. Ooh, the Bandits bring the damage, and there goes Rally Speciale. Mercedes-Benz pushing it off the track with Revenger's help. They are gonna lose one. Fallen Class attempts a takedown on both cars on the track. They wrestle with each other a little bit, but manage to survive. Revenger still on the track though, unfortunately. Ford Escort takes a shot at Hall and Class, throws the back end off the track, but it stays steady for now. The Diora 3 cruises into and underneath the Escort, throws it off the track, and it goes upside down and does not recover. Petey jumps out at the last second. That'll be a loss for Alabaster. Boom! The bomb goes off, the backwoods bomb, and there goes Hall and Class over sideways. It's not over yet, still a little bit on the track. Could be trouble for Massive. The 64 Continental does Massive Transit a huge favor, pushes Hall and Class off the track right side up. That is not what you want to do in the joust, but sure will help Massive. Speaking of Massive Transit, there's the Turbulence Tug, and it doesn't do a whole lot. Little wrestling up front with 2 members of the Sunrunners, but they are okay. Just a friendly tussle. Weird position for the Tug, but doesn't look like it's probably beyond 45. So far, 1 elimination in this round. West Coast Flyer gets underneath Turbulence Tug. It almost goes over, a little bit back heavy, and wow, that was a close one for Massive again. Group C Fantasy plows into the line, and Turbulence Tug goes up again, trying to take flight, it looks like. Buick gets underneath Group C, doesn't really do anything major except lock it in. Ford Thunderbird ousts Group C from the track, but Group C has no problem keeping level. That'll be a great survive for Shredheads, and Cookie does some bouncing. Dine and Dash bashes into the line. Look at the movement there. Thunderbird just kind of drives off the track to safety. Another close call for Turbulence Tug, and the West Coast Flyer stays steady for now. Little bump from Rapid Pulse. The back of Dine and Dash kind of popped up on that last hit. Turbine Sublime shoots underneath Rapid Pulse, throws it up on top of Dine and Dash. It looks like it's going to be fine, but then it flops down, lands on that flat top after hitting a height of 6, but it does not make the recovery. That is a devastating loss for Alabaster. They are going to be down to just 1 right now. Monoracer pushes Turbine Sublime underneath Dine and Dash. Back end goes up and the front end. It could tip, it looks like to me. And that's exactly what happens. 24 hours causing Dine and Dash to tip, but not enough to be called out, certainly. West Coast Flyer escapes fully. That was the last car of round 2, and we're gonna have 3 eliminations in this round. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Alabaster is in trouble. They are down to just the West Coast Flyer. Shredheads fall 5-4. They are now even with Sunrunners, who have 4. The Bandits and Massive Transit both have 3. Looks like the Alabaster Aces took the bulk of the damage in round 2. Revenger will start us off for the Sunrunners in this round. Oh, it goes curbside. That was a strange hit off the back of Evil Weevil. And there goes the Diora taking a shot. Revenger handles it no problem, just drives right off the track. PD flies up into the crate, smashes backwards, and is in the safety area. All in Class with a massive hit, but only succeeds in popping Evil Weevil off the track. Diora staying calm and handling that hit. Evil Weevil even made a recovery. Mercedes-Benz starts to get underneath Holland Class, pushing that back end up as usual. And then it escapes the track and makes sure that Massive Transit will be around for another turn. Backwoods Bomb takes a shot at the West Coast Flyer, trying to take Alabaster out of this match, but they are not willing to go. Good recovery. 24 Hours takes a shot at Backwoods Bomb. It handles it with aplomb. And now we got 3 cars on the track. 2 of them are Shredheads. Boom! There are no longer 3 cars on the track. Turbulence Tug just smashes into that line and gets a double takedown. 24 Hours thrown over sideways, and the Mercedes is upside down. Bandits and Shredheads each lose 1. 64 Continental zooms into position, gets underneath Turbulence Tug, no revenge. With the loss of the Mercedes, Bandits are going to be down to 2. And now the Continental is being assailed, almost pushed off of the track and almost over, actually. Look at this, 24 Hours made a recovery somehow for Shredheads. It looks like something smashed into it. It must have been Turbulence Tug. Dine and Dash with a mighty blow, but it cannot take anything down except for the Continental, which gets flipped over for Bandits. Turbine Sublime hits a 7 and bounces off the crates and somehow maintains balance. And look at that recovery by the Buick, too. That thing proving that it is worth having on the team. Now the Bandits are down to just the Ford Thunderbird. It tries to smash Dynadash around, but Dynadash absorbs the impact. The top of the trailer just flying up in the air. Monoracer scoots into position, and Dine and Dash looks a little iffy, but I don't think that's really close to 45 right there. Group C Fantasy with a gentle hit. It does not want to take out Turbine Sublime up front. Ford Thunderbird is balancing, wobbling a bit, but the Bandits will survive the round. Oh, some sort of a tremor there or something, a little settling going on, but no damage. Hopefully that tremor wasn't a prelude to an earthquake or something. Looks like there are 2 eliminations in this round, but we are going to take a measurement on Dine and Dash. And it looks like it's at 38. Yep, not that close to 45, so it will remain in. The Bandits took the damage in this round. Taking a look at the aftermath, they are down to 1. Alabaster are down to 1. Shredheads and Sunrunners are at 4. Massive Transit at 3. It's just a couple days before Christmas, and I would love to give my crew some bonuses. Last year I got them a pretty good bonus. I'd love to do it again. We've got 1 bonus so far. I'd love to see a few more. These guys put a lot of hard work into this show, and I'd love to show some appreciation to them. Even $5 would be something. Thanks a lot, everybody. Couldn't do this show without you. Round 4, here we go. Sunrunners and Shredheads are in the lead. Ravenger goes down first. Is it Ravenger or Revenger? Revenger. Kind of think Ravenger sounds right. The Diora 3 deposits Baby Petey up towards the front of the track by the crates and starts to get under Ravenger. Diora kind of works as an undercutter. All in Class boots Ravenger off the track, and it flips over and makes a fantastic recovery. 2 cars on the track. The last remaining car for the Bandits smashes into Holland Class and tightens the line up. That thing needs to stay alive. But it does not. A nice takedown right there from West Coast Flyer. And then it escapes off to the right and keeps Alabaster in the match, but the Bandits are finished. Backwoods Bomb tightens things up, boots Evil Weeble off the track. 24 Hours tries to shoot underneath Backwoods Bomb, and Backwoods Bomb flips right back into position. That was a great maneuver, and Sunrunners continue to do great in this match. Of course, just as I say that, Turbulence Tug immediately wipes out Backwoods Bomb, throwing it over and making it go sideways. All in Class escapes, so no friendly fire. That was a pretty big shakeup. The Buick slides into place. The Diora starting to tip up front. And tip it does, but it does manage to keep balance for the moment after that hit from Turbine Sublime. Here comes a kaboom from Dine and Dash, and look at that. Backwoods Bomb recovers, gets kind of tangled up in the wings of that plane. Not the result that Dine and Dash was looking for at all. No eliminations and 1 recovery. Monoracer gets just about all the way underneath Dine and Dash, even the cab partially, and it's starting to tip just a bit. West Coast bolstering it. Group C splits things up a little bit. Monoracer gets pushed off the track almost completely. Dine and Dash definitely off and a survive. And that is already the end of round 4. We are just gonna have the 1 elimination, but it's a big one. That's 1 team exiting the competition. We are down to 4. The Bandits will have to give it another try next year with a different lineup. Shredhead still at 4, Sunrunner still at 4, Transit at 3, and Alabaster just hanging on. Round 5, Shredhead's got the random roll to go first. They will head down with the Diora. PD goes flopping into the safety area. Good ride for him. Sunrunner's having good luck with the Ravenger as the starter car, and Diora gets thrown around a little bit but stays level. Big hit from Holland Class, and it throws the Diora up and over into the safety area with Petey, where it is toppled upside down and out. That'll be a loss for the Shredheads. They're first in a while. West Coast Flyer mostly ineffective at taking down Holland Class. And 24 Hours gets underneath West Coast Flyer, but it manages to get a recovery. Alabaster's gonna survive another round, it looks like. But then the bomb arrives, and Holland Class just barely manages to come back from that. Actually, it looks pretty close. That's probably a recovery. It's on the edge. Turbulence Tug slams into position. Sunrunner's unaffected by this. 24 Hours also looks to be making a recovery. Turbine Sublime with just enough oomph to start toppling Backwoods Bomb. Will the bomb's luck hold? The Buick tightens things up for the next big hit, which will be Dine and Dash. And there it is. Backwoods Bomb finally forced over sideways. That will be a loss for Sunrunners. Looks like everybody else is okay. The top 2 teams each down 1 now. Group C Fantasy with a devastating takedown on Dine and Dash. Just enough power to flop it over. And look at that, it tries to come back. Man, that thing has got some pretty good balance, but not able to make it happen. Monoracer shoots into position. Massive Transit is down 1 now to 2, and that was the final car of round 5. That was a big round and could have helped Alabaster a lot. Look at that. Revenger up front is actually eliminated sideways. That's going to be 2 losses for Sunrunners. And it's possible Massive Transit could lose another, taking a measurement on Turbulence Tug. 36 degrees, not that close after all. 4 eliminations it will be. And the Shred Heads are at 3. They take a pretty firm lead. Sunrunners at 2, Massive Transit at 2, Alabaster at 1. Suddenly everything looks a lot more equal. Round 6, one more team gets eliminated, and this is over. Shredhead starting off with 24 hours this time, now that the Diora is out. Boom! Massive Transit is getting impatient and wants to win this match. That is going to be a loss for Shredheads if 24 hours stays like that. Hits a 6 before coming down, upside down. The Buick does not change that result. Starts to flip Hall and Class just a bit. West Coast Flyer continues that trend, but everybody appears to be okay. Look at that recovery by 24 hours. Wow, what a nice return to upright by 24 hours. Good addition to Shredheads. Turbine Sublime helps Hall and Class settle down and escape. Massive Transit looks to survive this round. Turbulence Tug with a monster punch, and West Coast Flyer goes over but makes the recovery. There wasn't much space for it, but just enough to keep Alabaster alive. Monoracer shoots underneath that plane in a vain attempt to do something to Turbulence. The line is pretty tight right now on the track. Group C can't do anything either. And that's it. That's already the end of round 6. We will go to increased speeds. We're gonna get these eliminations to happen now. 24 hours will start us off for Shredheads, who are having a great match. They like increased speeds. Doesn't really affect that team with their agility. Hall and Class with a powerful hit. 24 hours is upside down again. Will it stick this time? Still partially on the track, so could have a recovery. And no, it won't recover. It slips off the edge of the track on that little hit from the Buick. Finally, 24 hours eliminated. West Coast Flyer slots in. Buick just about gets under, but can't manage it. Turbine Sublime also, not much going on there. 4 cars lined up for a big hit coming down from Turbulence. And finally, Massive Transit does it. They take out West Coast Flyer, toss it over upside down, and then look at what Hall and Class does just to make sure that that thing doesn't recover. Sits on top of it upside down. Massive want to go to the main event, and they may have just done it. Nothing much from Monteracer Group C Fantasy. Doesn't really shake things up. The Buick was about to go over, but it won't matter. That, my friends, is the end of Q2. 2 eliminations in this round. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Shredheads ended with 2, and so did Sunrunners and Massive Transit. Everybody has 2 left. Let's take a look at the points and see who gets the bonus action. The Shredheads had a magnificent round, and they will end with 88 points and the bonus action for the main event. Pretty good showing by all 3 of these teams. They're going to be solid when it comes to the main event. A quick update on the Custom Apocalypse Joust. It is the 22nd on the day this video comes out. Make sure that you have your vehicles postmarked by the 31st of December to get them here in time for the competition. And also make sure you filled out the form on that date, because that is when I will start setting up the event. More information in the description, and any questions you've got, ask me in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. See you next Sunday for Q3 and the return of Santa's Slayers. Christmas will be over and Santa wants to joust. See you next time, everybody. Thank you.